My name is Tanya Kroum, and I am our recruiter here at AA Asphalting. Thank you so much for having me and setting this up. This is fantastic. I don't have a PowerPoint to present, so I'll just be talking to you a little about us and what we do, and I'm happy to answer any questions that you guys might have. Our company has been in business for 42 years now, and we have 9 different locations throughout Western Washington. The ones that we have in King County are North Seattle, South Seattle, SeaTac, and then Issaquah as well. The kind of work that we do is concrete and asphalt restoration. So what that means is we work with public utilities, homeowners, business owners, general contractors. On the asphalt side of things, we do a lot of patching. So Puget Sound Energy, for example, is one of our contracts. And let's say that there is a gas line that's running down the road that they need to make repairs on. They will dig up the road, make their repairs. We come in behind them and fill what they've done and patch the road and bring it back up to use. We do other things like parking lots, roads, driveways, but typically it's a lot of patching. And then over on the concrete side of things, we are doing sidewalks, we're doing curb and gutters, the ADA ramps that you see on the corners. We're doing those sorts of things. And because we do those projects and the smaller kind of projects, we are able to stay busy throughout the year. So we don't have to shut down over the winter times. We are not a seasonal paving company, which is pretty unusual. So we've been able to stay busy and essential throughout this time. We haven't had to do any layoffs or slowdowns or anything, which has been really nice. We do offer full benefits, so medical, dental, vision, that all starts the first of the month after 60 days of employment, which is also when our employees are eligible for 401k, and then eligible for profit sharing with us after a year of employment. So another really good perk to have. The entry-level positions that we are hiring for right now would be the flaggers that are full-time positions, so benefits eligible. We start at $18.25 for our flaggers. If you have CPR, it's another 25 cents an hour. And you do need to come to us with that certification. So, you know, there's definitely certain resources that we can put you in touch with to help you get that flagging certificate, absolutely. And then our laborers, we start at $20.05 an hour for our laborers and room to go up from there. So they are doing, you know, shoveling, sweeping, raking, building forms, pouring, and hopefully, you know, as you grow, finishing at some point. You know, being a concrete finisher is a rare skill these days. So it's really good when you're able to learn and grow with people who've been doing this for, you know, 20 years. Like I said, all of these are benefits eligible requirements. We do check your driving record. If you don't have a license, that's fine. We are able to hire you without one. It just means you won't be able to drive for us. And we just have to be careful, you know, how many people we have employed who aren't able to drive for us at all. So not a requirement, but it's preferred. So driving record, we do a pre-employment drug test. We do a background check as well. I should also mention that because we do the work we do, you do have to be 18 or older. So we are not able to employ minors right now. In addition to that, our start times, it's construction, so it's very early. We typically start between 6:30 a.m. and 7 a.m. And because we do the kind of work we do, there is no set end time. So we might be on 2 job sites one day, we might be on 5 one day. So as soon as the work is done is when your day is done. Right now, like I mentioned, these are crazy, stressful, busy times, and we've been very committed to, you know, our COVID-19 safety to our employees since the beginning, and we, you know, continue to make every effort to minimize the health risks to our employees. So our plan includes personal hygiene, social distancing, PPE. We have face coverings, gloves, eye protection. We monitor health symptoms. We all have to fill out our health form every day when we come into the office. If we do come into the office, I do 1 day a week in here and 4 from home, which has been nice too. And then we have daily temperature checks. So we've made a very, very strong effort to keep everyone here safe, as well as the public. You know, we want to keep everyone safe. And then in terms of our commitment to diversity in our hiring, we are an equal opportunity employer. So we believe every employee has the right to work in an environment that is free of all forms of discrimination. Our CEO actually sent out a message, I think it was just last month, acknowledging, you know, the pain across our country right now, and how we really need to stand together and stand up for one another against injustice and racism and discrimination, and encouraged, you know, that this isn't enough. We need to talk. We need to do better. Our leadership team is committed to helping us all heal, helping us become better people, to address social injustice, and to eliminate unfair judgments in the treatment of people. So it was a really, really encouraging message to receive from the very top of the company. Let's see here. And then to apply, go to our website. It's aasphalting.com. And we do everything online now, so the application is there. My contact information will be provided. If you have any questions, definitely reach out. I'm happy to answer those for you. Some interviewing tips that I have. This, honestly, I've been a recruiter now for 12 years, and my biggest thing is when I call somebody and say, my name and who I'm representing, and they have no idea who they're talking to or what position they applied for. So my biggest thing is to keep a list of the jobs you're applying for. So that way, when they call you, you know exactly who you're talking to when you pick up the phone. Yeah, so, and then in terms of interviews also, be engaging, use examples. I think someone said it earlier too, that if you can relate any of your experience at all to, any work history, or even an example of teamwork when you played sports in high school, or any leadership skills or courses you've taken, or if you were in student body leadership, use those examples as well. It's really helpful in interviews. So yeah, any questions I'm happy to answer.
Yes, you do have some questions.
Sure.
Okay, does the applicant need a flagger certificate prior to applying?
You do have to come, if you're applying specifically for the flagger position, yes, you do need to have that certificate before you're, you can apply without it, but you wouldn't be considered qualified, so you really should have it when you apply. If you want to reach out to me because you are interested in the position, I have a list of schools who offer that course. Typically it's an 8-hour course you can do on a Saturday, and you're able to get certified in one day.
Do you know the approximate cost to take that course?
It really varies. I've seen it as low as 40, as high as about 85. So it just depends on who's offering it.
Okay. A youth is asking if you could tell us the website. I know it's on the downloadable document, but can you tell us what your website is?
Sure. So our website is aasphalting.com. And once you get there, there's a careers tab that will list all different yards that we have. So we have 9 different locations, and you select the location that's most convenient for you, and then you can view the open positions by location.
Wonderful. And Jojo, if you would spell out that email in the chat for teens, if you wouldn't mind doing that. Is it common that a longer job could also mean overtime pay?
Yeah, absolutely. So our office is right next to the train track. So if you hear a loud train going by right now, that's what's going on. So I'm going to apologize. So especially in the summertime, we do work a lot of overtime. So anything over 40 hours in the week is going to be time and a half.
Wonderful. And then Olivier and Pat have told us from the Y that they have a list of schools that offer that flagger certificate. So that second resource that spoke today, Pat, from the YWCA, he can help you find out where to go, hopefully one bus ride away, to get that one-day flagging certificate. Thank you, Jojo. Jojo's put up the website in the chat for any amazing young people that would like to write it down. Tanya, I had a question. Can you tell us about your location, the work location that's closest to us? I believe it's in Burien. So
we have, I'm trying to think, what is your exact location?
We're White Center.
Your White Center.
Just north of Burien.
So probably, I think South Seattle. We have a location in Georgetown.
Okay.
It's going to be pretty close. There's also one in SeaTac, so just north of the SeaTac airport. So we have 2 that are right there. And even we call our North Seattle office, or our North Seattle yard, North Seattle. It's really not that far north. It's kind of, I consider it downtown, but it's just off of Elliott, kind of by, as you're going to Magnolia. So even that is pretty close. And we work out of, like our South Seattle location, we share a yard with Puget Sound Energy. So it is a huge yard. There are a lot of bus lines that run right down there. The train, which would probably involve a transfer, but you know, light rail, train, it's all pretty close to the location.
Teens, young adults, other questions for AA Asphalting? Tanya from AA Asphalting. Providers, any questions? So Tanya, you did say you did need to already be 18 years old.
Yes, you do have to be 18, just within the nature of the industry, you know, and safety requirements and DOT requirements and whatnot. It is 18 and older, so you do have to be a legal adult for the position. And I think, like, is it Michelle with Anu was saying earlier that even though, you know, marijuana is legal in the state of Washington, and it's not federally legal, so we are, you know, DOT certified and regulated industry with our drivers, our CDL drivers and whatnot. So you do have to be able to pass that pre-employment drug test. One thing I didn't touch on that I should touch on is that we as an organization do try to promote from within whenever possible. So when someone does start with us as a flagger or a laborer and they show up and they work hard and they want to grow and challenge themselves, we do have a CDL training program. So that's a commercial driver's license to be able to drive a dump truck at some point, and you know, work your way up. We have several of our superintendents who started with us as laborers who now run an entire yard. So it's, you know, 4 to 5 crews. So that's always something as you're, you know, planning long term, to potentially turn it into a career is ideally what we're looking for.
And then for that entry-level job that you had before flagging, they didn't have to have CPR to apply, right? But it would be more competitive if you had CPR?
Sure, it would be. So, and it's certainly in your favor too, because that's what we call an adder. So with CPR, it's another 25 cents an hour. So our flaggers start at $18.25, but with your CPR, we'd bump you up to $18.50 per hour.
And Pat, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe you could also help with the list of CPR first aid classes as well, or have an ability to tell youth and young adults where they could get CPR first aid. I believe you've offered it before at the Y. Olivier. Can, Jonathan, can you lift Olivier's mic? There you go.
Okay, yes, we do offer CPR classes as well as first aid classes at YWCA. We usually wait until we have about 12 to 15 people who are interested, but I think the trainer might be a little bit more flexible now because everything has to be done, you know, differently. So we can find out from the trainer what her preference is. And the CPR class is of course free. And the first aid class, if anybody wants the first aid class, costs about $45. But so that's for the CPR class. And YWCA does have connections for flagger classes and certification at South Seattle College, if anyone's interested. So